Today, I am going to go into all of the details about veggies and greens. I've had so much coffee today, I'm like shaking, so I have no idea how this is gonna go. Hello, Buns. Welcome back to Cinnabun Sundays, a weekly video series where we talk about all things bunny. And welcome back to the Bunny Diet series. I'm Morgan, Cinnabun's bun mom, and if you are new to my channel, first time seeing my face, first of all, hi, welcome, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about the bunny food pyramid, which is all about what makes up a rabbit's diet. We've talked all about the bulk of their diet, which is hay. Last week, we touched on veggies and specifically talked about how to introduce veggies to rabbits, young rabbits specifically. And today, I am going to go into all of the details about veggies and greens and really what this 15% of their diet should consist of. But before we get started, I want to address something, and that is my teeth. If you guys follow me on my personal account, I have been going through a tooth journey. Long story the hair, Cinnabun fur. Long story short, when I was in 4th grade, I knocked out one of my front teeth. I had a root canal, and just over time, that tooth has been turning yellow. And there's really nothing I can do about it, so I decided to fully become an adult and get new front teeth. It was quite the process. I do not recommend knocking your tooth out, but it is done and I now have beautiful pearly whites, but I need something to protect them. And that is where our sponsor comes in today. 𝒏𝒆𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒏 sent me their new X5 toothbrush and it is so beautiful. Look how cute! I have used so many different types of toothbrushes. I've used electric, I've used regular, and just nothing really seems to work for me. This one is awesome because there are 3 different settings: sensitive, clean, and white. And for me right now, I've been really loving the sensitive setting. I just have really sensitive gums after getting new teeth, and this actually really adjusts to that and helps clean them without making my mouth bleed like crazy. As we bunny parents know, dental hygiene is super important, but it's also important for you bun parents. And for me, who just got new teeth that I want to care for so much, this has been a lifesaver. There are 2 different colors. I have the beautiful purple one, and then my boyfriend has the blue, and we have just been loving them. The packaging is so aesthetic and beautiful, and it comes with multiple brush heads and a charger, and the charge lasts forever. It's like 90 days. And there's a timer on it, so you make sure that you are always brushing your teeth the right amount of times. Click the link down in my description if you want to get your hands on one of these beauties. And with that, let's get back to the video. So first off, why do we feed rabbits greens? Well, they get a ton of nutrients and fiber from their hay, but greens really provide those extra nutrients to round out their diet. A healthy adult rabbit should be having 1 cup of greens for every 2 pounds of body weight. So Cinnabun, she is 4 pounds. I feed her 2 cups per day. Now it's up to you if you want to split that feeding into 2 feedings or just do 1. Because Cinnabun's little, I just do 1 big feeding in the morning, and that's like her big morning salad. But you could also split it half in the morning, half at night. It's really up to you. Now we are gonna talk all about what makes up Cinnabun's morning salad and how I build it. But before we do that, I kind of want to touch on a few things about greens and what they do for your bunny's health. So bear with me, we're gonna get a little bit like scientific here, but again, I want to make you an expert. 2 things that you want to look out for in your bunny's diet is calcium and oxalic acid. Calcium we've discussed before with our hay, specifically alfalfa hay, and how too much calcium actually isn't good for rabbits because it can really hurt their bladders. Now oxalic acid,
what the heck is that?
Oxalic acids are pretty much mild toxins that protect some plants in the wild. In little amounts, they are totally harmless, do not hurt people, don't hurt animals, but I'm sure as you can imagine, if there are too many toxins, they just aren't great for your health. Basically, too much oxalic acid over time can cause damage to your rabbit's kidneys and just overall gut health. So how do you know if your veggies contain oxalic acid? Lucky for you, most greens hardly have any, but a few do, and I'm going to pop up on the screen right now plants that are high in oxalic acid. These are things that you want to feed more sparingly. I'm not saying cut them out completely, but if you do feed it, I would feed it like once or twice a week, supplemented with other greens. And now I'm gonna pop up on the screen some herbs that are moderate in oxalic acid. So again, don't feed these every day, but you could feed these maybe 3 times a week in conjunction with other greens. And here's a list of greens that are high in calcium. I like to avoid things that are high in calcium because like we talked about with alfalfa hay, it's just not great for your bunny over time. So now that you've seen some greens that are higher in that oxalic acid, let's talk about my favorite greens to feed Cinnabun, which are low in calcium and low in oxalic acid, aka perfect for daily feeding. Romaine, green leaf lettuce, red leaf lettuce, dill, cilantro, watercress. So those are leafy greens, but what about other vegetables? Well, other vegetables like peppers, carrots, cucumbers, those are okay in small amounts, but they can be higher in sugar. So I recommend feeding about 1 tablespoon for every 2 pounds of weight. So again, Cinnabun is 4 pounds, so I would feed her 2 tablespoons. Things like carrots, dried flour, celery, bell pepper, Brussels, zucchini, summer squash, and cabbage. So overall, things that are low in calcium, low in oxalic acid, you can feed those every single day, and those should be your base. Things that are higher in oxalic acid, I would rotate those, maybe feed them once or twice a week. And then other veggies, so non-leafy greens, feed them in small amounts. Remember, 1 tablespoon for every 2 pounds of weight, and rotate those. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is what to not feed your rabbit. I am going to put a list on the screen of things that are unsafe to your bunny due to their chemical content or high fat content. All of these things on the screen, avoid these from your bunny's diet. One of those that might surprise you is iceberg lettuce. Because you might be thinking,
it's lettuce. I feed my bunny lettuce. What's wrong with it?
So lettuce contains a chemical that I can't pronounce, but let's try. 𝒾𝓃𝒃𝒂𝒍?
𝒾𝓃𝒃𝒂𝒍?
If you feed this over time, it can be really bad for their GI systems and cause GI stasis and other issues. So iceberg lettuce, people just recommend keep it out of your rabbit's diet. Have I confused you too much yet? Maybe? Yeah? Okay. Well, how about I talk about how I build Cinnabun salad, and that should clear it up. So every day I start with a base of a leafy lettuce. Usually I do either romaine, red leaf, or green leaf lettuce because those are super healthy and super safe. Now from there, you want to add in something different because if you feed them the same thing every day, they're just gonna get bored. I like to top Cinnabun salad with some type of herb. So if I'm being lazy, I'll use dill or cilantro because I can feed those every single day due to their low calcium, low oxalic acid. And lucky for me, Cinnabun loves them. But if I wanted to add something in like mint, basil, parsley, those things that are a little bit higher in oxalic acid, I would add maybe parsley in one day, and then the next day maybe add a little bit of basil. And then for the next couple days, add something like dill and cilantro since those are lower in the chemical and it can kind of balance out her diet. I don't want things like oxalic acids and calcium and all of that to really cloud your judgment and make you weary of feeding them overall. Don't worry at all. It's totally fine. Just don't feed it every single day, you know? Now on top of their salad, you can add maybe a tiny bit of cucumber, a little bite of pepper, maybe sprinkle some dried flowers on. But where I like to feed these other veggies instead of with her salad is in treat form. So a lot of times I'll sprinkle dried flowers onto her feeding mat. So if I gave her dried flowers one day, maybe the next day I'll give her a little bit of carrot. The next day for a treat, give her a little bit of pepper, so on and so forth. And remember, the amount for that is much smaller than leafy greens, being 1 tablespoon for every 2 pounds. Now remember, bunnies' guts are super sensitive, so anytime you introduce something new to your rabbit, you want to do it
slowly.
You can check out last week's video for how to safely introduce a vegetable to your bunny. Okay.
Have I overwhelmed you too much?
Hopefully not. It really is just learning what greens are safe for your bunny, what greens are okay, but not super great, and what greens you just need to learn to stay away from. And remember, I am not a vet, so please consult with your vet before starting any new diet changes for your rabbit. And if you have questions about a certain green that I may not have talked about in this video, just ask your rabbit savvy vet. They will have all of the nutrition information that you need. So Buns, we only have one part of the pyramid left, that final 5%. So next Sunday, we are diving into that. I hope you found this video useful. Give me a big thumbs up if you did, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye Buns.